Coming up on Wildcats Media News, criminal justice students test their full range of skills. Crawfish, music, and good times.
So it's a lot of fun.
And a mission commissioning service. That and more on Wildcats Media News.
From Studio A in the Martin Performing Arts Center, this is Wildcats Media News.
Welcome to Wildcats Media News, your campus news source. I'm Mark Klein. First up, as we come closer to the end of the semester, here are a few important dates to remember. Seniors, graduation commencement is May 16th in Gwynn. Come ready that morning for the family breakfast. Following that event, commencement begins at 10 a.m. While students are preparing for graduation or ready for the next semester, over the summer, some students will be held to a higher calling. On April 23rd, LC held its first ever commissioning service for 17 students who were committed to mission trips over the summer. Each student was presented with a medallion to mark their commitment to the charge to go into the world. Dr. Colin Wimberly spoke on the message of missionaries, while LC President Dr. Rick Brewer gave a final charge to the students.
And Wildcats, we have the greatest message in all of the world to share. That's why we are so passionate about missions.
That verb, go, is actually to be interpreted as you are going. It isn't optional. Some people say, well, I haven't been called to missions. Oh no, when you receive Christ, you're on mission with Him wherever you go. As you are going, be Jesus. Live out the life. Allow Him to flow through you.
Following Dr. Brewer's charge, a moving scene when the 17 students had those who attended the commissioning service come to the front to pray for them. Some of LC's top criminal justice majors got to experience the true meaning of the phrase, hands-on learning. These are students with Alpha Tau Gamma Omega, LC's criminal justice honors organization. They spent the afternoon of April 21st at the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office gun range. Under the direction of Criminal Justice Coordinator Andy McGee and with the help of local law officers, the students get training and instruction from the experienced professionals.
We were talking earlier, and the majority of these shooters out here, they're not familiar with a weapon, how to load it, how to break it down, proper techniques, and they do a great job of walking us through those techniques and the fundamentals. That way we can be successful in the future.
The issue of police and the use of force has been a major topic of discussion in the country over the past year. Yantis says programs like LC's Criminal Justice can help better prepare students for the realities of police work.
The pendulum has definitely swung when it comes to law enforcement, especially in today's society with everything that's been going on in the past few months, past few years. But I really think with programs like these and this activity in general, what we're doing, it really is going to help prepare these young adults that are entering into the criminal justice field and help prepare, make those decisions when the time comes.
This is the second year they've been invited to the Rapides Parish gun range. It's one of the most beloved events of the year, complete with crawfish and great music. Here's Wildcats Media's Hannah Fleming with a look at Cochon De Lait.
Kushan Delay has been going on for more than 50 years, and it is the annual crawfish boil where students come together as it gets closer to summer. Sophomores Casey Warren and Sammy Jo Gode are a part of Union Board and helped host this event.
We have crawfish, we have pig, we have jumpers, we have make your own road sign, we have games, we have a lot of people, we have a live band, so it's a lot of fun.
There were many first-timers who attended Cochon De Lait, including LC President Dr. Rick Brewer, who even helped entertain the students. April 25th was also pre-registration for incoming freshmen.
We didn't necessarily plan for the freshmen to be here for Cochon De Lait, but it just so happened that they're here so they can experience a little bit of what our campus is about.
Incoming freshmen like Matt Jarrell and Aaron Fleming were able to schedule classes and enjoy some crawfish.
They've helped me pick out the classes that I wanted, and they helped me be able to drop a class if I needed to replace it with something. They served great food, so we got to eat, and I thought that was awesome, and a great band, so it's been really fun.
Both Gerald and Fleming feel strongly led to attend LC.
This is where God has called me to be at, and I've had a few events in my lifetime that have just ultimately led me here.
So Kushan Delay was not only fun for current students, but for incoming students as well. So now we know for next time,
don't be Kushan De Lait for the Kushan De Lait.
From Wildcats Media News, I'm Hannah Fleming.
Meanwhile, another picnic happening last week on campus, this one dubbed the Picnic with the President. Despite it being a very busy day for Dr. Rick Brewer, he, along with student activities, wanted to give LC students a chance to mingle with the new Prez. On top of that, those who were there got to munch on some gourmet hamburgers. This was time for fun with volleyball and other games as well. And with summer on its way, what better way to spend the day than with free food and friends? Res Life hosted a back-to-summer barbecue bash in front of Cottingham Forest. Students enjoyed pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, fun music, and some friendly games of volleyball. R.A. Joe Alexander helped host the event and said they wanted to create an atmosphere where students can come and hang out and enjoy some free food.
Our goal in the whole thing was to have people come and interact and have fun and have an enjoyable afternoon, just to kind of help create some community at LC.
The event gave a much-needed break right before finals week. Last week, LC hosted international photographer Jim Veneman, who spoke about telling stories through images. Here's Wildcats Media's Miranda Quartemont with a snapshot of the event.
There are two things Jim Veneman is passionate about: telling stories and helping others do the same.
Telling a story is just so huge. I could tell it myself. That's one option. But if you have a class of people and they go out and tell stories, and I don't know, there's something about that multiplication factor.
That's why he's a photojournalism instructor at two universities, Union University in Tennessee and California Baptist University.
Commute there every week and teach Monday through Wednesday, leave really early on Mondays, and I get back in on Wednesday afternoons, evenings.
Somehow, he managed to find time to visit the campus of Louisiana College, too. Director of Communication and Marketing Norm Miller felt like Veneman had a message students needed to hear.
I wanted particularly our media students to try to get a taste of what Jim has, and maybe he would whet their appetite and try to emulate part of what Jim does, because I think that's worthy emulation.
As a photojournalist, Veneman covered the Oklahoma City bombings, the days following 9/11, and the conflict in Iraq. His secret to success?
The desire to tell someone's story is just going to lead you down some pretty important paths that are going to all bring about growth in yourself.
Veneman called his presentation "See Your World, Share Your World." That's what he encourages his students to do.
And so the way they build their photographs end up being very personal. And so they grow in confidence that they have something to say, and that the way that I view life is important.
Being in the classroom means less time for photo assignments, but Veneman says that's okay because
there's something about having something that is so important to you, to see that become important to someone else.
For Wildcats Media News, I'm Miranda Quartemont.
In its final wind ensemble concert of the semester, the band decided to take everyone back in time. The Wind Ensemble presenting When LC Was Young, a concert featuring musical selections that were written around the time of LC's founding. Selections ranging from John Philip Sousa to the hymn Fall Creek that was written by a former LC student.
Oh, it was so much fun. A lot of times with bands you get stuck into like old marches or like this new like dissonant stuff, but we got to kind of get a good mix, and it was a unique theme that brought a different style, to band. It was a lot of fun, and it was my last concert, so let's kind of go out with a bang.
Try to prepare the kids to go out and change the world, really, for Jesus, and to do it with the gift of music. Music is one of the most moving mediums that's available to us, and it just speaks to the heart.
The song Xylophonia featured one of the 5 seniors in the Wind Ensemble, Kelsey Ingham, on what else? The xylophone. And the final musical event of the semester came from a group that we consider to be 6 pretty neat guys.
Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
Now you know a group is great when they can bring the Mighty Mouse theme to life. The Louisianians, under the direction of Chris Turner, holding their spring concert in the LC game room. The guys in the varsity sweaters are always entertaining, and this show was no exception with a combination of spiritual songs and popular favorites. And they have the perfect song for the end of the school year to close on.
Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, good night.
And here's another way students are unwinding before hitting the books. Here's Wildcats Media's Melody Mutch with a look at open mic night.
Usually, finals week doesn't have students saying. Students gathered in the game room for free coffee and snacks at the BCM-sponsored open mic night.
Open mic night is just a fun time for all the students at LC to get together, goof off, kind of, just enjoy each other's talents and sometimes each other's humor.
Students were invited to share anything they wanted on the mic. Open mic night is just one of the ways Rebecca Unsworth prepared for her last round of finals at LC.
This is just providing a really good time to take a study break, to catch up with some friends, get some coffee before I go back to studying, and just relax a little.
For seniors like Unsworth, it was a bittersweet moment.
It's going to be my last open mic night before I graduate.
Me and Bubba are graduating.
Even though open mic night meant the start of finals week and one day closer to graduation, students were still able to have a good time and enjoy their time together.
That was supposed to be an eagle sound.
And students walked away with some words of encouragement to get them through finals week. For Wildcats Media, I'm Melody Mutch.
It's one of those great traditions at LC that marks the end of the semester. 'Twas the night before Dead Day, and all through the campus, students making a run, not for the border, but to Hattie B's for the semester-ending Pancake Breakfast. As a way to help the students get fueled up before cramming all those exams in, the LC faculty and staff playing the part of the cafeteria workers, serving up all the pancakes, bacon, eggs, sausage, grits, hash browns, and juice students can consume. The event is organized by Student Life and is something students look forward to every semester. Lastly, the LC Cats Against Trafficking group held a film screening of the film Nefarious. Wildcats Media photojournalist Hannah Fleming was out there with the sights and sounds. When we come back, a look at sports and entertainment news.
We're so separate as a culture from what's really going on underneath. We're kind of numb to the pain and the experiences of what's really going on, and we'd rather really not just tend to it, and that we see it every day in just cities like New Orleans and Baton Rouge and just downtown big areas, and that we'd rather just turn the blind eye.
In Cambodia, where they just sell their kids, and it's just become commonplace. The children don't even think of it as wrong. They're getting themselves ready. They're training themselves because they see it as an honor.
To know that there's girls out there that are just put into these orphanages and these situations that they can't control, it's just really hard for me to just know that and not be able to do anything about it.
It's not just prostitution, it's more than that. And people are literally selling their daughters, that's just crazy. That's how they provide for themselves. It's just sell their daughters, they just have no regard for human life.
The women that are actually we see in the corners, we judge them, and then we look at them and we say, how could you make that choice? In reality, it's not really a choice for them. It's just prostitution has chosen them. And it's not always just the women. It's just the men who are actually selling the women as well. They're captives as well.
The whole world has just decided that this is okay. It's okay to sell your bodies. It's okay to sell people like we're just objects. These children don't even see themselves as anything worthwhile. They don't even see themselves as worth anything.
I have to ask myself the question, why are there not people running for president who are anti-sex trafficking, and why isn't there enough being done? Why is the United States, who has always appeared to be pro-human rights, it seemed to turn a blind eye to the entire organization? And I feel that I can make a difference in it, and I will.
Welcome to Sports, I'm Karylon Thornton. After 29 years, head coach of the men's basketball team, Gene Rushing, has retired. After his most successful season on the sideline for the Wildcats, Rushing has decided that it was time to pack it up and go home. He leaves behind 6 seniors who could possibly be his greatest recruiting class. The seniors are a little nervous about who the new head coach will be, but continue to stay positive.
It's crazy because we don't know what we expected from another coach next year, so it's kind of hard. So we just, I prayed about it.
He became like a father to me, man. So it kind of touched me. And we had a little talk, and he just told me to stay strong and make sure I get my degree.
The team feels as if they are not only losing a coach, but someone who was a positive force in their lives on and off the court.
And he was like a mentor, man. Like he inspired me to keep going these 3 years, because I was thinking about transfer my freshman year. But he talked me in the stand. I mean, it paid off.
He was more than a father to us. He was like our father from home. So he paid for everything, did everything for us. So we're gonna miss him a lot.
The faculty on campus also feels the heartbreak of this departure, as Rushing is one of the cornerstones of this college.
I was sad because he's an icon at this university. He's going to go down as probably one of the greatest coaches to ever coach at this university.
My goodness, are we going to miss Gene Rushing on this campus?
He leaves behind an incredible legacy, and anyone who has stepped foot on this campus will always remember Gene Rushing.
Thanks for believing in me, man. That means a lot, and I love you, and thank you.
It was only a few years ago when Gene Rushing got his 300th win. Now another LC coach reaches this number as well. Head baseball coach Mike Burns gets win number 300 on senior day in All Good Field.
300's a big number, and I guess I'm honored that we were able to do it with this group of guys.
Achieving this milestone with the largest group of seniors Burns has had to come through this program. He hates to see them go and is proud of the accomplishments they have had on the field, but knows they will be just as successful in life.
They grew as young men. They're going to be unbelievable leaders in the community, and they're going to go on, and every one of those seniors are going to be successful.
Although the team did not make the ASC Conference Tournament, they finished strong with a 2-1 weekend record over rival ETBU. Despite their overall record of 14-24 and a heartbreaking season end, Burns is proud of this team as well as their fight.
The kids played hard from day one to the last out of the last game, and that's all you can ask of your players.
The season also comes to an end for the Louisiana College softball team. The Lady Wildcats were eliminated in the quarterfinals of the American Southwest Conference Tournament in Tyler, Texas, and found out Monday that they failed to make the Division III regionals. The Lady Cats closed out their home schedule last week with a series loss to Texas Tyler, the number 2 team in the country. The Wildcats lose 5 seniors from the team that finished 28-13 and 21-8 in the ASC. The Wildcats did get some good news Monday when they learned 8 players made the all-conference team. Freshman pitcher Savannah Settle was a first-team selection, while senior catcher Courtney Ivy, junior outfielder Ellen Barnesfather, and sophomore outfielder Jordan Mason also made the second team. Now switching fields, the Louisiana College football team finished their spring practices with their annual 7-on-7 tournament. The skill position players were broken down into 3 teams: the orange, blue, and white teams. The blue and white teams put up a great fight, but the orange team, quarterbacked by starter Easton Melanson, came away victorious. Meanwhile, the big man 7-on-7 was also a success, as the defensive and offensive linemen had some fun on the opposite side of the field.
Oh, yeah! Best one since I've been here. I think we got better each and every day. Sometimes we came out here last day school, but we found a way to pick it up and get through the practice. My standout guys got to be Willis Smith. He is a good right corner, left corner. He can be very versatile, very physical corner.
As an offense, I feel like we've done good. We got chemistry down, and we're just working forward as a team, trying to move forward, get ready for fall camp.
The Wildcat football team will look to keep the momentum through the summer and into fall camp as they prepare for the 2015 season. And let's look at sports, Mark.
Tell you what, graduation's around the corner. Are you excited?
Around the corner. I'm very excited.
So what's next?
School.
Okay.
Right back to school, so back to this.
Oh, you're going to be one of those people?
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those people.
Okay, well, for me, I guess it's the workforce coming up soon.
Real world.
Yeah, excited about it. Thank you. Anyway, coming up in this week's entertainment report, Taylor Free takes a look at animation here and overseas. Take a look.
Cartoons have been there for us since childhood. They're fun, wacky, and a way for us to escape reality.
But why are cartoons just for kids? I feel that this is a negative stigma, and I have to ask, why don't we have quality animation for adults? For your Wildcats Entertainment, I'm Taylor Freet.
Smart boy.
If you're between the ages of 3 and 100, chances are you've seen a cartoon at least once in your lifetime. Whether it's the Out of the Inkwell series from the 19-teens, or the more modern Adventure Time. If we are going to understand these shows, we need to go back to where they all began.
Now here's a story about Minnie the Moocher.
The Fleischer brothers were innovators in modern animation and used the medium to express their opinions of the culture while using surreal imagery. If you hadn't heard of these clowns, you might recognize their most popular character, Betty Boop. The Fleischers' main audience were adults, which was in strict contrast to Disney and Warner Brothers, who were more family-friendly. Cartoons would change forever when Disney released its first animated feature film in the 1930s, Snow White. From there, Disney has been the powerhouse when it comes to making animated movies. As for TV, it would be 30 years before the first primetime animated sitcom, coming in the form of the Flintstones and the Jetsons. Another 30 years would pass before we would see more mature versions of these families, with The Simpsons and 10 years later, Family Guy. So, what's so mature about Fox's most acclaimed animated programming?
It was you. Hey guys, do I got a lead key bum? Come on, look at the stools. Is there a lead key bum?
That's right, fart jokes. The show's adult content is limited to how lewd they can be on screen. Overseas in France, animation is used to explore social reform. In the Oscar-nominated film Persepolis, we get to see the oppressive power of the Middle East and its social reform. Likewise, in the film The Illusionist, we see an out-of-work magician and a young girl who still believes in the power of magic. This is a clear, deep allegory for faith. If we go further east, we can see our friends in Japan using animation in the way that we saw the Fleischers did in the 19-teens, pushing surrealist animation to the point where it becomes art in the critically acclaimed animated series Fooly Cooly.
It's kind of cool, I guess.
Japan isn't just limited to surrealism, though. In the critically acclaimed animated series Death Note, a young man finds a notebook that has the power to kill whosever name is written in the notebook. Does he use the book to rid the world of evil, or use it to become the next big dictator? So, what have we learned? We've seen that animation comes in many shapes and sizes, ranging from dark to wacky, being social commentary and an art form. Clearly, it's not just for children, but for those who want a new way to explore the human condition. With your Wildcats Media News, I'm Taylor Freet.
That's all, folks.
And can you believe it? That wraps up Wildcats Media News for another semester. I'm Mark Klein.
And I'm Karylon Thornton.
I'll see you later.